Okay, it's the time for some questions from our audience for Mayor Lou Barletta. So if anyone has questions, now would be the time to make your way over to the podium. I am going to start our question section here, and one that's near and dear to your heart, and that's on immigration. There's been a lot of talk about immigration. Arizona has come under fire about immigration, and I think your stance has come under fire. Have you changed your opinion on immigration in the last couple of years? And if so, why? And if not, what will you do to move the country in a direction where immigration is a main priority?
Well, my position hasn't changed since I was the first mayor in the country to stand up and defend the people that I represent, because I still believe that illegal is illegal. I also still believe that those in Washington have failed the American people. When I was faced with the problem in my city, when our population grew by 50%, but our taxes stayed the same, when we saw violent crimes increasing, many times being committed by those that were in the country illegally, when I went to Washington in December of 2005 and talked to the Department of Justice about the problems that we were having and how illegal immigration affects small towns such as mine, small towns that have a very small budget, who cannot afford to fight the effects that illegal immigration has. At the end of that meeting, I got a nice coffee mug, a lapel pin, a pat on the back, and good luck, Mayor. I realized that Washington wasn't going to do anything. So I did. So we created the first ordinance of its kind in the country, dealing with illegal immigration, not doing anything to the illegal immigrant. Because it is clear that only the federal government can determine anyone's immigration status, and they should, and that's proper. But it is illegal to hire illegal workers. I didn't make that law. That's already the law of this country. So our ordinance would punish businesses that knowingly hired illegal aliens. Putting American workers out of work, making American workers work for less by depressing the wages of the American worker. We were sued. 36 lawyers sued the city of Hazleton. The ACLU represented the plaintiffs, many who were illegal aliens, admittedly were in the country illegally, sued our city. We went to court, and the illegal aliens had asked the judge if they could have their identities protected from us, who they were suing, and from the public. It was granted. We're not allowed to ask their names. I don't even know if they live in Hazleton. We weren't allowed to ask. They then asked the judge if they could be excused from showing up at the trial because they were in the country illegally and they didn't want to go to a federal courthouse out of fear of being deported. It was granted. They did not have to show up at the trial. I never saw our accusers. I believe that these illegal aliens were given more rights than a United States citizen would have in this country. The judge ruled against our city, and I appealed to the Third Circuit Court in Philadelphia, and after 22 months, a decision has come down against the city in favor of those that sued the city. But I'm not done. I plan on appealing this to the Supreme Court, and I will fight this. I will fight this to the Supreme Court. And as I see more and more cities across the United States feeling the same frustration that I do, as I see more mayors across the United States standing up for their people, and I see more governors around the United States saying enough is enough. If the federal government is not going to defend the people of this country, we have an obligation to stand up and do it. I understand that this must be fixed in the halls of Congress. That the best way for me to fight this is in the halls of Congress. And I promise you, and I promise anyone who knows Lou Barletta, that I will have my voice heard when I get to Washington. I will never stop until the rule of law in this country is enforced.
Now we'll take a question from a member of the audience. Please state your name and ask your question, sir.
Good evening, Mayor Barletta and everyone. John Bird from Lehigh. Mr. Mayor, I'll ask you a question this evening regarding the excessive interference of the federal government in states' rights. For example, numerous things: healthcare, unfunded mandates in education, etc., which is a violation of the 10th Amendment. I wonder if you'd address those issues for us tonight, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely, and as a mayor of the city for 11 years now, I have a lot of experience with federal mandates and federal interference against states' rights. I am a strong believer in the 10th Amendment and a strong believer in states' rights. We can include not only in healthcare, one of the best examples is education, where Washington continues to interfere as we're watching our education system in America falter farther and farther behind. So when I get to Washington, I plan on being a very strong supporter of less federal interference and more support towards states' rights. And local as well, because unfortunately the burden of their decisions in Washington end up falling on local officials. Folks in small towns are forced through their taxes to pay for the burden of unfunded mandates that are handed down through the federal government to the states, and then eventually down to the local level, where local mayors and supervisors are forced to make decisions to deal with the mandates that are and the interference and over-regulation of Washington.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from a member of the audience.
Hi again. My name is Hope Bramlett, and I'm from Lehigh. This is a question that I think a lot of people have asked. Have you read the energy bill that you will be voting on? And I stress, you will be voting on.
Well, I will be voting on it. Thank you very much. And it's a subject that is very near and dear to me as well, because first of all, I do not support cap and trade. Let me make that very clear as well. But we here in northeastern Pennsylvania have a fantastic opportunity to lead the nation, to be a leader in the nation when it comes to energy. We all know and have read or heard or understand the opportunity that will come to Pennsylvania with natural gas. We all know about those opportunities. But we also need to talk about liquid fuels, coal to liquid fuels, natural gas to liquid fuels. These are opportunities where Pennsylvania and our area in particular can be a leader in the nation. The technology is here. We are standing on more coal here in northeastern Pennsylvania than anywhere else in the country. We have those opportunities. We have the technology to turn that into liquid fuels so that we are less dependent on foreign oil, less dependent on countries that do not like us, and again create the kind of jobs that the people here in northeastern Pennsylvania are looking for. These opportunities are here. If we have leadership, someone who will go to Washington and fight for that, fight for the opportunities that our area present. And I truly believe that this area, that Pennsylvania and northeastern Pennsylvania could be a leader when it comes to energy.
Now, you do realize when I'm speaking, I'm leaving out CO2 gas, and you should probably be taxing me for this, because that's what they're going to do. since CO2 has been now said that it's a problem. It's a problem with green gases. I'm having a big problem with that. I have read the energy bill, and I do take notice that I feel the hardest people that are going to be hit are the farmers. So many farmers have given up. In the 1970s, we dumped our milk. I want you to take that to Washington, and I want you to remind them, if we dumped our milk, we will stop producing food, and then those people can eat their cement in their cities.
Okay, we have time for another question from an audience member.
Mr. Barletta, my name is Jim Nelson from Thorpe. I'm wondering if you support the Republican pledge. Do you agree with it, and will you support it?
Well, there is much of it that I do, and I plan on bringing my pledge to the people. There is much of it that I do, that we need to bring back fiscal responsibility. We need to bring back common sense. We cannot spend money that we don't have. Most of the principles, all of the principles that we grew up with are common sense principles, most that are in the pledge. And I will be a supporter. I will go to Washington and make sure that every dollar spent is not wasted, is not money that we don't have, that we do not pass bills that over-regulate, that we do not create a government that overreaches into the lives of the American people, that we go back to the Ronald Reagan days of that our economy can thrive again, common sense, private business, entrepreneur spirit again, create that entrepreneur spirit, manufacture again, sell more goods around the world, make America what we know it to be. We are on a road to destruction if we continue to allow this government to take more and more control of our lives, spend money irresponsibly, pass laws such as the health care bill, cap and trade, that are hurting the economy, and as the pledge is, some common sense in Washington. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I would like to share just one note. Lou Barletta is running for the 11th District Congress seat. Republican Paul Kanjorski, Congressman, was invited to attend tonight's event, and he declined. I'm sorry, excuse me, Democrat Paul Kanjorski declined the invitation. Excuse me, it's very good that you caught that so quickly. We're going to take a break. I'm very happy to have here the Republican candidate for Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett. He'll be with us right after this break.